we got Beasty versus ZertoN in our best of 5, starting off here on Coastal Cliffs. And even though everybody's talking about just how broken Byzantines are at the moment, they went through. They went through, and ZertoN is going to be grabbing them here on Coastal Cliffs against JD for Beasty. JD, the civilization that Beasty is, and a lot of others are talking about right now, just being very weak on land.
Yeah, I was about to say every single time I hear Beastie talk about JD, it's always a negative connotation. It's never like, wow, JD was a really good pick here. It's like, why would someone pick JD? JD's trash on land maps. You shouldn't pick JD here. It's not as good as X, Y, and Z. But Beastie's picking it first. Maybe he wants to get it out of the way. Maybe he wants to show his dominance and say, look, I just beat you with the worst Civ. Now it's only going to be harder for you from here. But I will say ZertoN is not someone to write off. He's someone that can really hold his own, can really take some games off of those top players, and I'd be scared over here.
I hope so. I mean, ZertoN, he's known to be the best German player, and for good reason. Like, he's probably, like, from all the German players, has the best micro, has some of the most solid macro as well. Now in this matchup with Byzantines versus Jeanne d'Arc, I would be disappointed if this goes any other way than for certain. But that's just my bias. That's just my bias. Beastie, you said with Jeanne d'Arc, right? Like, it's not his favorite civilization, to say the least. And yeah, Jeanne is being traded right now at the moment as a suboptimal civilization for most. So we'll have to see if Beastie maybe has like a special plan here, if this is all like an elaborate plot in order to get ZertoN off guard. And we're gonna be jumping right into our game number 1 now between the Beastie, spawning in his favorite color yellow, playing as Jeanne d'Arc, against ZertoN in the color blue, playing as the Byzantines. We're here on Coastal Cliffs, one of our unique custom maps here for this tournament. You see, this is like Dry Arabia, except you take a cleaver and you just cut out a third of the map.
Yeah, it always makes them fun, always makes some exciting games. We're seeing ZertoN do the early Olive Grove drop, so opposite from the build that we saw from I think it was Demu earlier today, and I think that was Beastie who even came up with the build himself.
Yeah, recently we've seen like a lot of times players opting again for like those early farms, not just with Byzantines, but with English, with HRE, just making sure their food transition is going to be very, very clean. In many situations, that can really save you when it comes to like, okay, maybe you don't get as many sheep early on with your scout. In those situations, having an extra 1 or 2 farms mean that you don't run out of those sheeps early on.
Yeah, it's also kind of one of those too where, if you get forward deer and forward berries and all your food's forward, it's like, well, if that gets denied or delayed or it takes a little bit for you to retake it, well, it's not as hurtful for you because you haven't depleted your early food as fast and you have some long-term food that's never going to go away. But enough about all that. It's the Byzantines versus JD. And this is where JD has kind of gone through some transitions with buffs and nerfs over the course of time. Used to be way, way stronger. Now is, like we've talked about, kind of regarded as low tier.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Like, it's pretty dangerous, right? Like, giving buffs to Jeanne d'Arc, because in games where she suddenly reaches level 3 in Feudal Age, suddenly she's overpowered. She can just dive TCs, tank arrow shots forever. Now in the current form, she not only gets like level up a little bit later, she's also just overall a weaker version of herself. She needs to unlock some upgrades in order to like regain the strength that was taken away from her in the previous patches. It's a tough situation for sure. There's also some upgrades that French get that Jeanne doesn't have access to anymore. So, for example, the free blacksmith upgrades, that's gone. Jeanne doesn't have the reduced cost on the economic buildings as well. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off here and there.
Yeah, and Beastie, he decides to move out for the deer. I believe it was after scouting the Grand Winery, making sure that it's not a hippo play, but didn't think it would be a hippo play anyways. And Beastie snagging up some of that deer for himself. We talked about, not depleting food, and this is a great way to do it. Is just go out and take all that valuable quick gathering food on the map.
Yeah, nice move out there onto the deer. It's going to mean that he is going to have a, like, pretty sustainable food income there for quite a while. Like this is gonna last him until maybe like Castle Age. He's got a lot of villagers over on gold as well, so definitely in a good position when it comes to night spam, and actually pulling all of his remaining villagers that were on sheep now over to the deer as well. That's gonna be interesting. Means that he isn't like, this is a little bit of idle time now. He probably won't have enough food right away in order to get a night going immediately. Might take him a drop off after that. Also getting the survival techniques upgrade in now as well. So night is likely gonna be delayed. This might buy ZertoN enough time to get his mercenaries out online, and we can already see the barracks coming in now as well. So we'll already have an answer to the knights, and maybe not just an answer, but actually like a not like a question to how is Beasty gonna be able to defend the deer now. He might need to drop an outpost there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thought is he'll just end up waiting. He knew he had the time to gather from the food first, and then he'll be able to get the outpost before the spears or Limitane run all the way across the map. You also can't just run across with one. Probably need a few first. And so that's exactly where, you know, Beasty maybe playing the patient, smarter game.
Spearman is going to be put over onto the berries. First knight is now moving out from Beasty. Already almost has enough olive oil for the first mercenary, so just gonna be one, maybe two more drop-offs on the berries until he'll be able to afford that second sister, now also getting connected.
Yeah, you say he has enough for the mercenaries, but I don't see the
It's coming up now.
Ah, there it is. Okay, there's the mercenary house being built, and just in time, he's got a nice solid grouping of olive oil. Already has a nice solid set of Limitane out onto the map as well. Oh, and I love the spread out. He's just kind of ready and waiting, knowing that there's literally no spots for knights to actually dive him.
It's going to be very tough to find any real point of aggression here. Maybe on the wood line, but ZertoN could just put another Midnight over on there. And Beasty, he's going for... Oh my god. Okay, this is GG. Beasty is going for the ranged zone version, and ZertoN, he's getting javelin throwers out. That is not something that you can do. It's just not.
Yeah, it's such a feels bad. Knights are circling, vision of it, not quite gotten in. Oh, the Limitane was so close, but Beasty able to secure first Vil pick of the game. It's all about that slow trickle, so is able to take one out.
Equalizes the villager count now, because Jean, obviously, like, just upgrading her is going to take one villager away from Jeanne d'Arc. Archer range now following up. Beasty with circles around the woodline again. Is that going to be another villager? It is going to be another villager. Ah, ZertoN. Little bit, underestimating the night charge there. Also, Jean fires in. All the Midnight now from the berries getting pulled over as well. ZertoN just needed like a couple of walls there, just like 1-2 meters of walls away from the forest there, from the woodline. Would have made sure that the knights are gonna have a harder time when it comes to charges. And once again,
but the brace comes in.
Triple brace.
And the javelins come out at the perfect time too. Javelins were able to get 2 throws off, not quite enough to secure the last knight, but is able to at least kill one, and one is huge because this is typically where the JD players, they don't like transitioning into archers that much. BC's already done it though, and they like keeping that knight mass alive, utilizing JD to constantly heal them up, constantly make sure they're at full health.
Javelin throws. Now you can take a look at that damage coming out against Jean. Already reduced down to half of her health now.
Yeah, Limitane starting to close the gap. She already used the healing just a second ago. And ZertoN scouted out the deer, knew that Beasty went that way. Good body blocking with his villagers, but not quite enough. Beasty able to secure one more. However, Beasty has some other things to worry about at home.
It's a lot of archers now.
And yeah, enough archers to force ZertoN back.
Javelin throwers a little bit exposed. Charge does come in. One javelin thrower getting taken down.
Another knight gets taken down in the process. Javelins starting to throw. Took down, I think, one archer, and Beasty going in for some more raids.
Yeah, right now, Beasty is just out microing ZertoN a little bit when it comes to like the different multitasking raids and whatnot. This actually hurts him quite a lot, but now we got additional javelin throws, enough now to pretty much one-shot these archers.
This also makes it a lot easier to pick off those lower health knights that get away or barely get away, I should say.
Another villager kill. Beasty's got
Another
so many
villager kill,
kills.
but another knight goes down. This has been a lot of trades here. Beasty's up 2 villagers, but fights are starting to go the way of ZertoN. It seems like a few of those knights quite low health. Archers taking the trades. JD getting a lot of XP though. Good micro by Beasty, diving on around. Only 2 knights left alive, but only a few limited there too.
Knight getting picked off by the javelin throwers.
Oh. JD's still tanky enough, and another
knight down.
Beasty doesn't have any knights left.
He just got chivalry. Just got chivalry, and just when all the knights went down.
He just lost every single knight he had. ZertoN might have lost a decent amount of villagers, but I think that's where it's kind of made up for by the mass he's already been able to kind of build up and take out on the other side. It's 15-8, and none of the 8 are actually knights.
I think there must have been some idle time for Beasty on his TC. He killed 4 villagers, but he's only like 2 ahead. He lost 1 villager with Sean, so it must have been at least a little bit of idle time. Yeah. Overall, ZertoN's in a great position as he already has like a couple of olive groves up. He's getting some walls in now as well. Does have 7 javelin throws up still.
Oh, and another knight goes down. Almost. I guess I jumped the gun a little bit.
Oh, it's really close.
It's like 1 health. That's not going to be able to come back into a fight for a while. Oh my! And still JD goes down. And all the villagers on the deer got to run.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of idle time now. And certainly he's just still pumping those libidinae.
My big question is, how many sheep does Beasty have left?
He probably still has a lot, right? Like, he hasn't been on sheep at all.
Good.
Yeah, he still has like 6 sheep there. Even
5
as well.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Good to go there. That's what I was really worried about. He is sending the knights back around to circle the raid. I'd love for ZertoN just to kind of make sure he has the reinforcement groups, and then deters this raid on away, reinforce into some more walls, and keep the pressure up, because he honestly, his military mass is something that Beasty he doesn't have the ability to deal with.
It's an outpost up on his goal, but Beasty, he's still the kind of player to like try and attempt to go for some villager pickoffs there.
Oh yeah, Beasty is one, he's always doing the raiding, even when he is in the worst situation, and that's what gives him the ability to come back in a lot of games. He is one of those players that can come back from, the worst of situations, even though this isn't even close to the worst of situations, as he had a lot of good raids earlier on, just took some bad military trades.
Yeah. And that BC, he's trying to climb up in the archer combat now. Javelin throwers. And shot. Oh, they shot the corpse.
They overkilled the first corpse a little bit, or else they would have gotten a second villager pick. But even one, it's hasn't quite equalized it, but denies the gold from Beasty, and Beasty's only on 4 knights. That means he's only making archers that ZertoN has the hard counter to, albeit not enough jabs to super hard counter that.
Yeah, needs at least like 1 or 2 more groups of them to be in an even better position. But I think now at this point in time, ZertoN, he could be fine with just going for an A job now behind this.
Yeah, he's got almost 30 limited A at this point. I mean, that number, even with the archers, is hard to deal with. And BC's starting to make horsemen because he doesn't have that gold. He knows he needs to keep making units, but it has to make something. And horsemen it is. But when you're JD making horsemen, it's always feels bad.
ZertoN's letting himself get a little bit split up there. Only 7 jump throws. I don't think that's enough against 26 archers. It's a lot of archers now.
Oh, another knight goes down though.
I still don't see it. I still don't see ZertoN winning this one. He's
got to drop ranges at this point. I feel like he doesn't have enough olive oil coming in to match up the archer number with his jab, so he needs another unit, whether it's horsemen or whether it's archers.
I think Beast is going for this round. He is.
Oh, he is. Good
Oh,
brace at the
Traverse.
beginning, but those archers are shredding.
Absolutely are. At the same time, he's getting some value in the base of ZertoN. And yeah, archers are just going to be able to take down the javelin throwers now. In this mass, there's no way for ZertoN to really keep those guys safe. And oh, he's going to lose the entire limit night count there. Oh, that's so bad, actually. That is so bad for ZertoN now.
Beasty's cleaning this up easy.
He can't remass the javelin throwers, right? Like, it's only... He's off berries now. And this could actually be level up for Jean very soon here. Oh, this is so bad.
Oh, that is the level up for JD. This might just be a forfeit for ZertoN after that. BC has 39 military, hasn't upgraded JD. We were talking about, you know, ZertoN being in a good position, but he did not have the correct military composition. BC just stayed chill, did some raiding, kept ZertoN on the back foot, and didn't allow his mass archers to show. And now there's nothing. What's ZertoN going to do against the men-at-arms? He went path of he went with the men-at-arms, and there's nothing that ZertoN can do to clear those up.
He's making more of it. Oh my god, okay. I didn't think it would end this way, but it looks like it's gonna end this way. The mass archers now. I can't believe the game is gonna go in this direction.
Villagers denied off the berries, so now ZertoN isn't on the food anymore and only has those few olive groves in the base to deal with, albeit at least another night. Taking some damage, more villagers going down. I mean, ZertoN's as good as dead. There's no way he can stabilize this.
Yeah, it looked so over for Beasty, but the archer spam and ZertoN just moving out in the middle of the map with no vision on Beasty's army, getting completely surrounded and just not having the javelin count that he needed there. Yeah, it's over.
He went with the second barracks when it should have been a range instead, and had archers or stables and had horsemen, because he needed one of the two, because it was just
anything but Molobitne at that point in time.
Yeah, but I mean he had the point where Beasty had 0 knights left, so that's where it's just like you can make some other units. Yeah, one shot in the jabs,
one-shotting the jabs.
Oh, and ZertoN. He's getting his military mass doubled.
Yeah.
Usually Byzantines is doubling people's military.
It's over. The Rams are coming in now. I mean, after taking such a decisive unit loss. Yeah. After taking such a decisive unit loss, like, you know that you're in for a bad time. And sure, you don't want to surrender now at this point in time because of the tournament, but we can see the writing on the wall.
Yeah. You talked about that unit loss. We are up to 8 javelin throwers against 48 archers. It's fun. I mean, Beasty can just move under the base.
Yeah, just use Jean to tank as well. Another one
plus 11. He's also getting all of, I mean, not like we're going to see level 4 come out, but this is just going to be so much free XP sent his way. Second ram coming out, so all of the houses are starting to go down. ZertoN's already pop capped. Needs to use his resources on military, isn't going to be able to do so, and it's just very, very struggle bus right now.
All you had to do was follow the damn train and just go Castle Age, but yeah, this is just straight up over now. The little bit as tanky as they may be, they're just getting picked apart by this mass of archers. Jean d'Arc helping out as well. One-shotting those javelin throwers in the back, and yeah, Libetnai just going down here, and GG gets called. Beasty with a quick and decisive win in game number 1 in a situation where it looked like he would be the loser, but one good fight, and he's able to win it after all.
I mean, that's all it takes sometimes, especially when you're talking about a fight with that big of a, I would say, just like of a counter difference. It was one where you're essentially, you know, 3-1, 4-1 on the trades you're making. So you're coming out with like 10 units and your opponent's coming out with 40. It's just, you're not going to be able to get close to matching that. And yeah, that's exactly what we see.
Yeah, that one big fight there, right? Like BC's military count is barely budging. ZertoN's is just taking a nosedive there.
Yeah, and you can see how well he was doing before that. He had the lead by a lot. When that fight happened too, and it, both armies are down at like nothing. The key is that Beastie had absolutely zero knights. If that had been all knights left, then a whole different story. I get it. He needs to mass up more spears, but instead it was like 7 archers, and he just chose to just mass spear after spear after spear. I guess maybe we can say that it's because I don't think he remade a scout and had the vision of it, so didn't really know what to expect. But that's where knowledge is key. And BC one good trade, able to take the win. But look at our second map. We're gonna go in for some chaos.
So Contra once again, and it's gonna be Mongols versus Malians. We saw Malians earlier being played against the Delhi, and it looked like there were moments where Mali was dead, and then they weren't, and then it was impossible to kill them. Is that gonna repeat itself? Because with Mongols, it can be kind of difficult to get access to the gold of your opponent, since it usually spawns in the back and in range of the TC.
Yeah, the big difference I will say is that Mongols at least has an ability to secure food for the long term with pastures if they so desire. And they have that extra ability to where if they're burning stuff down and taking units down, they're getting that extra raid bonus. So kind of a little bit of some differences from the Delhi, but even still, games should be played out a very, very similar way where it is very feudally heavy.
All right, game number 2 starting off right now. Beasty versus ZertoN. Impressive first game by Beasty, taking the lead here in this set. Now playing with the Mongols against the Malians. Back gold for ZertoN. We're gonna have to take a look, see how it's looking for him over there. Yeah, it looks like it's just firmly in range of the TC. Don't think that there's really any aggression that BC can go there for. But he might still try. He might still try to go for it. We do see villagers over on wood. Now the question is going to be, is that going to be for a pasture or barracks? It is a barracks, so we will see some Dark Age aggression coming out there. Might actually be able to take down 2 houses there.
The problem is that's one of those where like if you circle around and even burn a house, it's like getting to the second house in the right position is very, very difficult. And
getting some walls in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit even more difficult, but I feel like these are some super early walls.
They are. He's gonna sacrifice 1 house for that early on. And I mean, if he gets another like 1 or 2 wood drop-offs, might even be able to wall off the left side as well. That could actually be really great here for him, because Beastie is going for that play with the Dark Age aggression. The Khan is gonna make its way over though, so should be in time to block any potential wall-offs. And yeah, he is going around the left-hand side, so exactly where the walls are. So this entire investment now kind of falls flat.
Yeah, huge feels bad. Khan circling on around, so going to get the vision of this. Scouts out the berries, gives himself the nice falcon, so has full vision of this. Even went with the 3rd spear, so didn't wait for the second one to go double. He's all in for this, and villagers up with it.
I know the question's gonna be, are you going for Manticore behind? That's a lot of sheep that BC has there. 10 sheep overall. Got from ZertoN. ZertoN's also not having like too few sheep, 7 sheep carcasses, 5 votable sheep, so pretty fine overall for both of them. But now the outpost is going to be going up, and that is going to be a denial on a lot of these houses there from ZertoN. So the question's going to be, how will he react to that now?
Ooh, spears actually able. Oh, outpost is in TC range, but just barely, so should go up no problem. And the spears are able to burn down the pit mine. The key thing here is you can always send a villager and go repair it, but not when there's a lot of spears, which we know the 3rd's on the way, and there's an additional 2 coming.
I think maybe you can go for like 1 villager pull in order to delay the outpost, but the second one you definitely can't go for. And I mean, ZertoN, he sees the spearman. And now the timing is closing in. I think at this point in time, he can't pull the villagers anymore to try and go for a delay on the outpost. So that should definitely go up. And with that, the first pit mine should also slowly but surely get denied here. Is at least going to have the Manza quarry, right? So that's going to make up for it for the most part. A little bit of a repair going in. So ZertoN wants to extract the most amount of resource that he can out of that pit mine. We're actually seeing a second outpost going up there. That's a little bit ballsy, I would say.
That's a lot of investment, I feel like, for this.
Yeah, especially since ZertoN, he can just go for his own outpost. He can just put the Manza quarry on stone. Oh, that hurts. That hurts so bad. But yeah, I think ZertoN, if he just gets his own outpost up next to the house on the pit mine, gets enough stone for emplacement, and he can even protect the pit mine.
Yeah.
He does have the wood for it, but instead goes for the archer range.
Needs to rush that down a little bit quicker. Yep, that's what instead he's trying to just delay this outpost a little bit. Spear's being pulled over using the movement speed arrow. He is not canceling this. Another villager goes to rebuild the pit mine and now cancels the outpost.
Second outpost coming up there. Interesting. Deerstone's now being built by Beasty in his base.
Goes ahead, rebuilds that, yeah, a little bit of damage on it. He says, all right, why not? You know, make sure it's full, make sure it's nice and healthy. Pit mine getting quite low, quite close to being taken down. ZertoN, you know, this is taking Molly out of the comfort zone. You know, no cows, no cow boom going on, dropping ranges. There's the javelin thrower.
Pit mine in the middle of the map. He needs to secure that with an outpost first, though, I feel like, for the most part. He's went for javelin throwers before archers. That is ballsy. That is so ballsy, going for javelin throwers before archers. The javelin throwers don't do any bonus damage against them. And with the movement speed arrow, they could get gap closed on.
Very, very quickly, Khan gets scouted out. The spear is there. It's going for the villager. Villager can pull the shiv out, though, I think, and help enough. But the second one's there. Damage. There you go. It's enough. He's got the pit mine up at least. And the town center. There we go. That's, you know.
It helps. It helps. Yeah, that's going to be the second house going down. Don't think any more houses will go down. The rest should be in range of the TC. ZertoN now is going to have to rebuild some houses, does have the pit mine up again. So overall, not the worst here for ZertoN. He lost a lot of value, gave over some to Beasty as well.
Yeah, it's three raid bonuses going on over Beasty's way. Oh my god, that villager had some bad pathing there. That was a little too close to DC, yeah. Oh, that's one of those tilting moves that, like, if that happens to you, you're like, are you? But just enough, you're good to go. We're starting to see the Donzo number climb. The most important thing is that the cow number is low.
Yeah, cattle, they're gonna take a while. I mean, we've seen it last game, right? Like, it's not even important to have them set up perfectly to drop a Grand Polani Corral on them. It doesn't matter. You just need them up in order to have that passive food income, because as long as this game continues and goes on, at a certain stage, your opponent is gonna run out of food permanently, or rather they're going to have to make a transition of some sort. Now, Mongols are actually pretty great for food transitions on this map, because their food transition barely takes up any space. They just make the pastures. They don't have to go for like any big farm transitions which take up a lot of space. Theirs very compact and mobile, and they can just gather under a TC.
So now we're actually starting to see some Keshiks, some archers, and some double produced archers, but ZertoN was trying to put some pressure on. He's got a little bit of everything here, but I feel like Beasty might be able to get enough to collapse on this soon.
Yeah, maybe. What just moved out there for ZertoN? Is it more villagers? No, it is spearmen. Okay, it does have the Donzos there. Needs to get them in the position, though. Villager is going to try and run. Is going to be able to do so. That was a close one, though. Movement speed arrow. Those guys are really, really quick. As soon as that movement speed arrow gets fired. BC, he's also got more archery ranges up. So now he's going to really be able to escalate the army count. I hope ZertoN realizes and just has to go for another archery range. Did he get the other out? Did BC get another outpost up behind the woodline? I think he's just sending the villager over. Yeah, and he's going to get an outpost up there. That's really sneaky.
Wolves being annoying though, actually getting a decent amount of damage. So if this gets spotted out at all, I don't think it will though.
It's in a very tough spot to spot out. I doubt it will be. Beasty, I feel like ZertoN needs to do something about those outposts. They're starting to get really annoying, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
he spots it. He spots it there.
That's so lucky with the blacksmith placement, but
Oh, but the Keshiks
will
are...
he actually notice
Wait,
it?
that should pull attention over to it. He hasn't noticed it yet. But the Keshiks, he should see it now. Yeah, villagers are getting pulled.
I was about to say you could wait for this one javelin thrower and just kill it with the jav. Shivs work too. Guarantees the kill. Denies the outpost. And going for walls on the front side.
Oh, that's gonna be a lot of villager kills. And ZertoN, he's not gonna get anything for the return. He just went for the production building without any like real means of taking it down. He's trying to wall off the map, which would help him a lot. The issue with walling off this map, it takes one transport ship.
You're not wrong about that. Haven't seen any docks come to play yet. Those outposts still being annoying at the start. I believe another house might be going down here in a little bit from those. Yep. That's where, honestly, give it a couple more seconds. We're going to get a nice old another raid bounty bonus, another house go down.
Yeah, the outposts at this time, like, just kind of paying for themselves, right? Like, the second they burn 2 houses, they've paid for themselves, resource-wise. ZertoN right now, he's making a lot of donzos, not enough javelin throwers. We can tell, like, sure, it's 4 Keshiks.
Not the repeat from last game. Not the repeat from last game. Once again, Beasty is massing the archers, and like a ton of them. He's already got 24, and ZertoN's got 9 jabs. This feels like the exact repeat of last game.
Beasty's also making the farm transition behind that, not even moving out to any of the deer spots, just immediately going for the pastures. So food transition is going to be coming in. Looks like the javelin throwers are being put forward, are going to be acting as the bullet sponge against the outpost. Still doesn't feel too great, as they are like sort of the premium unit here, and they will still go down and take heavy damage from that. Keshiks try to get another raid in, but yeah, looks like ZertoN is at least going to be able to clean up the outposts here, and that's going to make way for a second pit mine soon. He's going to have to be careful though. Doesn't want to lose the pit mine that he got up in the middle for it, as BC is now going to be pushing across, and it's 30 archers. ZertoN has 6 javelin throwers.
It's the repeat of last game.
It is. It really is at this point in time. But oh no. Oh no, it's so many donzos, man. It's so many. And they're acting as javelin throwers. I'll give him that.
You don't want to run for... I mean, I guess he's got the outpost. He's got the vision, so he can use the javs to snipe the best they can. This is where ZertoN just needs to stall on up. He's now going to be able to rebuild that pit mine at home, re-get on the gold at home. But does he have any cows yet? How many... Like, is he even going cows?
Maybe. I think maybe he has a... Yeah, he's got 1 ranch with a total of 0 cattle inside. He's eating from them mostly.
He is on double mill production for those now.
Khan just being annoying there on the side. Keshiks might be running in. No, I'm running in now. Yeah, we need like at least 20 javelin throwers here in order to deal with this.
There's that dock. Here we go. ZertoN, though, he did build an outpost in front of that gold, I think, to prevent this exact thing from happening. You know, it's so easy for a galley or a sprinkled ship to just circle around and start denying that gold.
I want to take this moment in time to, for one, congratulate Shulkin on the amount of EGC points that he has overall, but he might just be about to lose another 100,000.
Scout trying to get vision of Beasty's army. He sees the mass amount of archers, and if I were ZertoN, I'd drop another range, and I would not produce any more Donzo.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting the javelin count is starting to climb, and that's the most important part. Like, even the thing is, even if Beasty now gets like an archer ship out, it doesn't matter because javelin throwers actually eat archer ships for breakfast. ZertoN is now starting to get up more cattle range as well. We see more cattle's coming out overall. He's got a very good amount of food income. It's just that javelin throwers, it's climbing, but it's slow. It's a slow climb. They take a long time to produce. But if he gets enough of them in time, we're actually seeing the silver tree moving forward now. That's a lot of javelin throws. Some good initial shots there. Silver tree being in quite ballsy there with the move forward.
Oh.
Actually getting blocked out there.
Yeah, ZertoN's got 5 jabs in queue, so and he just dropped another range, so he knows what he needs to do this game. He learned from last game, or at least has the vision of it with the outpost and with his scout this game.
Let's go for it again. Does silver tree even provide vision? I think it only provides the buffer. Oh, the archer ship, but there's an outpost. If ZertoN realizes in time, yep, there we go. He also can, like, I want to really see him putting the Manzaquari on stone just for long enough to get like a single emplacement out on that outpost. Oh, he's got so many javelin throws, he can start one-shotting Keshex. This is the moment time to go, ZertoN. This is the moment time to go.
One shot's the con.
Down.
No more vision.
Go, 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 go. That's a good fight to take.
He's in the choke point. Donzo get the brace off. Huge pull. Jav's able to kind of get a couple more throws off, and even still, ZertoN chooses not to take the fight. He falls back here, and he just wants to continue to play defensive, and he's going to keep trickling units then.
I mean, as the fight goes on, though, like, Beasty just lost a lot of Keshex. And the army value, like, looking at the army value, it's so great for ZertoN. He just has to be, like, actually at this point in time, take 5 of your Dunzos and just put them inside the outpost so you don't even need the emplacement to protect your gold.
Beasty did move forward to go onto that deer, and I mean, the jab number is climbing so fast now. Once you get to, like you said, we're one shot in Keshex. This is very, very hard for Beasty to take the full-on fight. 56 archers, 30 jabs, and once this next group's produced, Beasty looks like he's stopping his production though. He might be playing to go up to castle. I don't know. Question mark?
3 archer ships now. That's quite a lot. Wait, ZertoN, your villagers. ZertoN. There we go. Okay, he notices at least.
Beasty?
That's big. That's big. That's 2 Keshex down. If the Dunzos decide to throw their spears.
Oh,
don't go for it.
Looked like they were about to start, but canceled that one. Scout gets taken out.
And the H-Up's coming in rather quickly for Beasty now.
Yeah. A quick little idling here. The archer ships though, he's trying to get enough to where it just like one-shots the villagers now.
Yeah, and placement's coming in as well, though. Might actually lose an archer ship now for that. Kurultai's coming in. This is dangerous. I mean, it's a tough call to make to cut production, right? But ZertoN sees the army like running away, and this should like tell him, like paragraph to him right now, what is going on here now behind this, that the age-up is imminent for Beasty.
Yeah, Beasty would have wanted to take this fight. He's been forward this whole time, been ready to take the fight, but now they're just staring off in the distance. The galley's coming back around again. This time, any villagers taken down? Yep, one falls. Villager. And the second galley, 2 galleys fall though for it. There's another 3rd galley on the way, but ZertoN stalls out a little bit, and Beasty, he was aging up so close to where this mass is. ZertoN's so close
food
to
income went down by quite a bit now during this age-up. He's got a lot of gold, but no food at all. And there's the market now. Definitely needs the market. His economy has been kind of weird, kind of wonky. There we go. A little bit of trade out comes in, gets enough for the ranged armor upgrade, ranged damage upgrade. That's what he needs in order to penetrate with the Kurultai through the armor of those javelin throwers. But ZertoN, he is not too far away from the age-up as well. Once again, Archship comes in, gets 1 villager, 2 villagers. So damage has been found, but age-up is now going to be coming in. The Farim.
Well, I mean, I guess I get it. Just use the cows for you don't have a ton of cows, but use the ones you have just as extra food. The key, can you secure enough gold for yourself for Farimba to be useful? Usually you need about 23, 25 villagers on gold for everything that you want.
Ha. The
I mean,
thing is,
if the numbers are
yes.
even, ZertoN wins this, right? His units are so much more efficient.
Yeah, and as soon as he gets the age up in, right, like his units upgrade much faster. The thing is, though, can he get to that point in time? It's difficult because the fight, his units are somewhat out of position right now. It's to wait
Starting
a little
to fall
bit
back.
longer.
The Deerstones move forward. The Kurultai moves forward. ZertoN falls back. Farimba's
I'm
getting
scared,
close. He needs another 30 seconds.
The Kurultai is coming in. Farimba garrison gets spotted out. Villagers.
Oh, villagers, stop! Villagers, what the? Dodge the
Oh, they're all going down. So many villagers die in the blink of an eye. The
But
Keshiks at least.
The Keshiks just dove into the Donzo. They all just went down. The archers are diving the main TC. And again, this is a fight. I think ZertoN can just take this. Just the villagers are running in. Why?
I don't know. I don't know. Veterancy is coming in for the units now. But man, ZertoN, he just lost so much. So much.
I mean,
he just lost 36. He just lost like 15, 16 villagers, maybe more.
I mean, you hate to say GG. I mean, it's not really technically because ZertoN can push forward with the army he has if he can just kind of close the gap and try to end it once he gets upgrades.
Beasty's making crossbows, which I don't know why. That's something.
Okay, so stepping forward again.
Not quite able to one-shot the men-at-arms with the javelin throws.
I mean, ZertoN has to press forward here, right? Like, there's nothing else to do. You can't like idle this out and stop. You know you're behind like 20 villagers now, right?
Oh man. Outpost gets taken down.
At what cost? I mean, the Donzos just went to half health.
There's no production right now from ZertoN. He's not producing anything, which scares me. And the mangonel is coming out now for Beasty. ZertoN, he's not having any wood income right now to react to the siege. That is like something that you just have to expect coming in. The thing with siege as well is like, oh, he's going into sofas now. And suddenly the crossbows works.
Yeah, this just feels like a feels bad game now after what we just saw. You know, Beasty just devastated the villager count of ZertoN, and it's just it hurts. I wouldn't want to be a villager over on the blue side, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, this is really rough now. I mean, there aren't that many crossbows in yet, and imported armors is coming in for ZertoN. The main thing that just really feels bad is that the Farimba is not doing anything at this stage in the game. There's no production coming out of it. We're seeing double. Oh my god, there's villagers on the wood line, on the gold mine, the galleys. Okay, villagers are getting pulled, but that's another 1-2 villagers go. Nope, they live.
Oh,
they live
barely dodging
the demo ship is taking
demos.
down.
Yeah, there goes the outpost. There's some extra raid bonus. I mean, Beasty's just taking control of this game, making sure ZertoN stays on the back foot. He's up 23 economy. No
Beasty
relics
right now. He's
yet though.
He's saving stone for a Mongol keep. That's gonna be interesting.
Ah, yes. We all love the Mongol keeps.
But now the forward base is coming in. The Kurultai, the outposts are getting dropped. Units have to pull back, and as soon as they pull back, that's when the archer ships are coming back in again for more. 6 sofas so far. I mean, the armor upgrade is great for them. They're going to be able to soak up a lot of damage. They're going to be great against the men-at-arms as well. The issue is there's nothing right now that ZertoN has to use against the mangonels. 3 mangonels right now are just going to be able to completely end the game here. And I think, yeah, as long as there aren't any Springles, this is going to be a 2-0 very, very quickly.
I think some sofas attempting to raid in the backside, attempted to kill some reinforcing units. Didn't do too much though, as Beasty cleared them up. And now Beasty just gets to continue moving. Ooh, forward. Double mangonel shots. Not quite where they want to be, but there's some choke points here, and there's a mass of villagers that they could turn and hit.
In that mass, even the sofas fall to the archers. Archer ships at least get taken down. Taking care of some of the distraction. Kurultai is going to get deployed now, but that's a lot of houses now that are going to be under fire. And production buildings as well. Triple mangonel. A fourth one even in queue. Beasty not even spending a thought about, like, sprinkles in this game. It's just mass mangonels, and as long as there's no answer to the mangonels, like, what can you do? Melee units don't work against mangonels in this situation. It's just body clumping, body blocking onto them, and you can have like 15-20 horsemen here. You would not be able to take care of those mangonels.
Yep. And this is where even Springles too, I feel like with villagers right in the choke point when they were trying to run away and drop off the gold.
Speaking of choke
forward again, and another choke. All right, go and get out of here. Let's forfeit. Get out of here.
Infantry units are good. Melee units are good against mangonels, I heard. They don't take that much damage. In the blink of an eye.
Every single, yeah, and there it is.
There it is.
Goes up 2-0 in a decisive game number 2. Looked pretty close for a bit in time in the mid game, but right after that timing push, you see the villager count there. There is no coming back from it.
See, ZertoN wins these games in the early game. Later is the point in time when he loses them. But man, that looked so clean at the beginning for ZertoN, man. Like, so clean at the beginning. I want to say, like, it was difficult. Like, it was messy, but he made the right calls, I want to say. Like, going out to the middle pit mine, and at the beginning, like, there were a lot of donzos, but in time he made enough javelin throwers to be in a really good position. I'm just shaking my head right now when I look at the Farimba garrison play. Maybe it was because he didn't have the room to put the Grand Fulani Corral, but in those situations, I want to say, all right, delete the cattle ranch, just put it somewhere else. It's 100 wood investment, but you're still gonna be benefiting much more from it in comparison than the Farimba garrison. The Farimba garrison has just been nerfed time and time again. Man, that was something, man. Those mangonels there at the end, the clump, the choke point. It hurts me physically whenever I see mangonels getting those shots off against melee units, because I'm just like, the melee units don't deserve that. Range units deserve that. The melee units didn't deserve to get done that dirty in those situations.
When it's one mangonel, you're like, oh, it does a little bit, especially when they're clumped up. When it's 3, we just saw devastation. But
it's like 15 units dying in one shot.
Yeah, but now game number 3 is a matchup that we saw earlier today. I think it was the demo versus Louis game, and Otto was able to take the dub with just kind of, actually it was a pretty decisive one. Just not a lot of, there wasn't a good Barbican spot really able to be placed, and then a lot of the resources kind of got forced down and focused. I remember food being kind of an issue, and so will we see that same thing here? Ottomans potentially taking the dub against Beasty, or is Beasty going to be able to, take the advantage with China with one of his, I would say go-to civs?
Yeah, it's gonna be the question here. Yeah, as you said, was a Louis versus Demu game there, and China, for like, what Louis did there was he forced the Barbican to go up inside the base of Demu rather than on top of the sacred site. And out of that, like, Louis just took map control, even got 5 of the relics. 5-0 relic game there as well. I think it's really decisive on where you can get the Barbican up. If you commit to the Barbican in the middle with like 3, maybe even 4 villagers, get the resources for it really, really early on. Or if you just go for the Imperial Academy first, get some units out and then try to go and get the Barbican up in the middle, because that's really decisive. Getting the Barbican up in the middle just means that you will have not only vision, but you will have control over the middle of the map, meaning that your opponent, if they want to do something, they have to go either around or mass up enough units to go past the Barbican.
Yeah, I've also seen BC On this map specifically, kind of do a similar Barbican than what we saw before, maybe a little bit further forward, wall up the sides, but instead he's going 2 TC, he's booming up, and he's going for that timing push. But all of a sudden, he's got 30, 40 extra villagers behind it. He's invested into primarily siege, is able to take down some of the keeps, force drop keeps of his own, all that sort. So let's kind of see if it's a little bit of a game plan difference from China potentially, or if it's like you said, maybe getting that Barbican in a better location.
All right. Only a couple of seconds, and we're gonna be jumping into our game number 3. Very early potential match point here now for Beasty. Can ZertoN do it? Can he get a point on the board and maybe set himself up for a reverse sweep? Let's jump into our game number 3, and here we go. King of the Hill, baby. Beasty in the color yellow, once again playing as the Chinese against ZertoN in the color blue, playing as the Ottomans.
Yeah, and checking in on these map locations, definitely,
Oh,
I would say it's a little bit more closed off than the spawn we saw before, especially on the outer patches. There's not a ton of openings.
the alert
Um,
bells are ringing. The alert bells are ringing because ZertoN Scout right now is trailing behind Beastie Scout, and I think that was because Beastie has the additional line of sight as the Chinese, and I think he saw ZertoN Scout, and as soon as he saw him, he just turned around, and ZertoN didn't see his Scout, and now he's kind of like following him.
Yeah, and this is just one of those slight Chinese bonuses that you don't always think about, but can prove devastating if you kind of know where to look, know how to play the game. And Beastie cuts off the scout perfectly, and we're gonna see how big of a sheep difference this is gonna be in a minute or two. But we can already see how it's starting to add up.
Yeah, sheep early on, they're not that important for the Ottomans. They do have a vizier point, which gives them additional 8 sheep. So for the early part of the game, they're going to be very, very fine. But yeah, BC is going to find an incredible amount of sheep this game. I think he's going to be at like 12, 14 sheep then by the end of his roundabout there.
And it's so nice, especially being Chinese. You just sit under that initial mill and you just sit there and just you got all your food bills there. You got a nice IO that just doesn't even have to worry about spreading off to different locations because you have so much food in one spot.
Yeah. It also translates us into a lot of taxes because that mill is likely going to be in range of an Imperial Academy, which is going to boost the tax income there by 100%. So all of these sheep essentially are going to be worth like 50 gold each on top of what he's getting right now from it.
Yep. And there is another sheep to add on to the mix, so we are not complaining at all about the sheep game if you're a Beastie fan. Spear for ZertoN is starting to move across the map. The key thing, oh man, even more. Oh, but Spear's beginning to move across the map. Beastie, a little bit of a different game plan. Not the Imperial Academy first. It is the protective Barbican at home.
All right, does have the Imperial official early on going for himself. So only aging up with one villager should mean that BC can then just rush up the Imperial Academy and get a really good Song Dynasty timing in. Roughly about, I want to say like 4 minutes 40, 4 minutes 30-ish, maybe even, might be 5 minutes. But the Song Dynasty timing should be quite good for him here.
Yeah, and ZertoN, he's not even going for the gold. He's seen this before. It's so hard to actually get damage done. Usually you can get a little bit of idle time, a little bit of an annoyance, but nothing anything long term. And instead, he's just going for some deer laming.
Getting the Sultanahi trade network means that he is gonna, at the very least, get a lot of passive gold income in, roughly 70 gold per minute there for him. So pretty much equal to a Manza quarry that he'll be getting there. I think it's 74 gold per minute from those 3 traders that you get. Yeah, nice deer laming, spreads them out very, very far away from each other. It's gonna make it very difficult to really get a decent grip on that gold, on that food income on those deer.
Yep, and does drop that Imperial Academy. Lovely location. We'll have the mill, and he's going to drop a lumber camp down on that southeastern side and be able to just have his wood line, which is always that, oh, maybe he's going for a different one. I lied. Going for the forward wood line. Not worried about the Imperial Academy influence, I guess.
I mean, there are spearmen out, right? And the woodlines, they are outside of the TC range. So it makes sense that you want to at least start off with that one. Just means that he won't have to react to the spearmen at all for a while. Thing is, right now behind this Beasty, he can't go for a second TC as well, as the stone is outside of his TC range, and it looks like he's not committing, or rather, he is committing into not making any military units right now. For the time being, ZertoN, he's also switching his military school over to archer, so similar as we saw in the game between Louis and Demu. Since also out on the deer there.
You know, I love this by ZertoN. He's like, you know, if my opponent's going into the Quick Song Dynasty, he's not gonna have military units out on the field. Go ahead and take advantage of the deer and take advantage of, you know, your lack of sheep with taking food out on the map.
I also just want to point out that the Song Dynasty for Beasty came in at roughly 4 minutes and 50. So, you know, if you go for the no early Imperial official build, you get your Song Dynasty like 40 seconds later. So you don't really save on a villager. So anybody that goes for no early AO villager build with the Chinese, you deserve to lose.
We see now Beasty's returning the favor with some deer lambing himself. There was a spear that walked right through where the villager was walling up. Thought he was going to get a block in and at least try to do some damage and deny this, but wall goes up, other spears arrive, and are going to try to now make a gap. But Chooks and Chooks and Chooks.
Yeah, Jugunu is kind of like... I want to say that Ottomans is like probably one of the best civilization to play against the mass of Jugunus there. Because you get the matter out, you get an additional +1 ranged armor on your units, and suddenly you significantly reduce the amount of damage that the Jugunus get out. Instead of it taking, 7 Jugunus in order to one-shot an archer, suddenly it's like 10 or 11. It's a big difference. And with all of that damage that you save up as well, getting the Sipahi out as well. Suddenly you have like 4 ranged armor on those Sipahi. You're able to just deal against the Shugunu really nicely. Issue that I'm seeing here though is that ZertoN, he's not going to go for any like early Sipahi play here. Instead, it looks like he is going to be trying to go for a fast castle age. Could be dangerous against the Shugunu though. I mean, if you go for like mass men-at-arms, then maybe... Wait, is he pivoting now? He's making archer range now. I feel like this is a little bit like... He's in a difficult spot because if he now decides to go for units and feudal age instead of aging up, he's going to put himself on the back foot.
Yeah, and it looks like Beasty's cutting production now though, just moving forward with those 13...
No, he's making a better blacksmith.
This is the all-in. That's why. It's the all-in. It's the blacksmith. He wanted to stop production to be able to get that up, and now it is just ready to go.
Villagers.
Oh no.
He saw those though. He saw the Jugunu move over with his scout, and now he's paying the price for not moving the villagers. That is going to be 3 villagers going down. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. And they were carrying food.
Yeah, that is a huge feels bad.
He's making production buildings. Oh no, he's delaying his age up now.
And now he has 700 gold in the bank that's worthless that he hasn't used on anything.
I would. He needs to just downright buy wood at this point in time. Oh. He's got the market for it already, but yeah, his entire game plan is just falling apart.
Yeah, he was going to go fast castle, wasn't ready for the all-in, and now he's trying to get ready for the all-in, drops the blacksmith. But
the rams are coming in.
He's already dropping rams.
Oh, and there's a hole.
Oh, yeah. A nice hole to slide on through. First ram already being built. I was about to say, I'd love to see some Sipahi hit the reinforcing chooks because there's no spears here. So at least you can thin out the mass from building up any further and make sure that Beasty can't move forward without, you know, getting some more double digits going. And that's exactly what we got going here. Oh. Yep. That's exactly what we got going here now. and needs to just continue to push towards the base. And this will give ZertoN time. You can see he's actually somehow masked up the numbers pretty quickly after lacking the iron under mesh. I would send villagers out to repair.
Something. He needs to do something. Matter is coming out. Yeah, he is repairing. He is repairing. Oh my god, this feels really bad though. It's a lot of resource that you're putting inside of a blacksmith now, additionally. And the second ram is coming in. I don't think he's even gonna be able... Yeah, he's out of wood now.
He needs this iron undermesh. 8 seconds. The 2 rams are gonna fire.
I'm not sure he's getting it.
He's not getting it.
3, 2, 1. He's
The most perfect timing ever. The Sipahi circle back around. They would have iron undermesh at this point. Just think about that during this fight. It still might go ZertoN's way just because of those few Sipahi, but it would have gone so much better.
You can't see our cameras right now, but I am literally doing the not like this face, and the matter goes down as well.
Benefit for him, he keeps the stable alive. The second group of Chooks did not get to reinforce forward, and he still is somehow stabilized.
Yeah, the stable stays up as well, which is very important at this point in time, but ZertoN, he just idled out his entire food economy as well for quite a while. He's still only on a single military school, and Beasty has been Song Dynasty behind this for the last 6.5 minutes. So there's a 10 villager eco lead now behind this, and it's just gonna be more Jugunu flooding out behind this. Yeah, he's still on berries.
You can't forget about those villagers that we lost on the Deer 2 over earlier too, and ZertoN just didn't proactively react to his vision and information that he gathered. What kept him alive the last time was some of that Sipahi raiding. This time, he has 0 Sipahi. So I don't know what Sipahi raiding could do. It immediately loses the meter. You need that. You gotta have the meter during this.
He takes the fight, but you can't take the fight. You don't even have the iron mesh upgrade yet.
All right, so will this game last to 15 minutes? I don't think so.
I don't think so, man. I
think Beasty doubles, he triples down with the rams. Just drop a second ram now and just go. I mean, he's got 43 Chooks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got, that's enough Chooks to help take down the buildings. Yeah, there we go. We see it. Now if the archers step up, they just get taken out.
It's 20 archers versus 47 Jugunu. It's just a numbers game at this point as well. And can we take a look at the meta? I don't think it's ranged armor on right now. It's not. It's attack speed. I think for the last couple of fights, it's been attack speed as well.
Yeah, it's just not quite what you need. And Beasty, he is just doubling down. A military school's going down for ZertoN, but that's a slow process, and it's in the front side. He's still onto the stone. He needs more army now. He needs more production that makes things quicker, not something that's like a slow trickle.
62 Jugununa at this point in time. And this, yeah, like the Sipahi are just gonna get shredded against this many units now. It's just a unit mass difference. Like, this could have also just been archers now at this point in time with such a unit mass difference.
Look at the yellow line moving across the map. It's a full-on straight-up line. There's just no stopping any production. Beasty's gonna get to triple-digit military here in a little bit.
ZertoN trying to mass up the archers.
He kills the mill before the ram gets there.
Yeah. The amount of units, it's just too many, right? Like at this point in time, like ZertoN can't catch up. Beasty is just pumping out units non-stop here. Look at the overall income. Beasty, he's sitting on pretty much like 2.2k resources. ZertoN, he's scraping barely above 1,000. It's the eco difference at this point in time now. Archers, they can't really win that fight. And Matter at the front again. It barely survives, but for how long is gonna be the question.
I feel like this is where Beasty can just A-move this if he wants, but He's actually fallen back, and the ram
Has
about to
little
get taken
health.
down. Going for another ram. And he's gonna have another mass. He's just gonna he's baiting this in. He's gonna have another group come behind this, and then the archer mass gone.
Yeah, I mean, at this point already, with every single attack volley, it's like multiple archers going down. Now finishing off the ram. Mojigunu coming in, and ZertoN's out of food. He's no, he's trying
walled
to go
in.
for the mill, but it's walled in. Look at the villager pathing.
Yeah, they're gonna run through the middle of the map. It's gonna be hilarious. Here they go.
He notices it's walled. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Now he's pulling the, oh no.
And there it is.
And there's an
And
outpost.
Beasty's already building an outpost. He's going to be able to fast build another one if he wants to. 2 rams this time. That's not going to be easily cleared up. And there is another outpost being built. Full food denial. ZertoN's got nowhere to go. Beasty, you got to get the triple-digit military. I said it was going to happen. You got to do it. Jump inside the outpost.
Spowing back. And
Oh, he
GG.
didn't get to triple digits, but GG gets called. After the first 2 series today, going quite long, having crazy back and forth, we see Beasty having a very, very clean series, able to just take some really, really good timings. It felt one-sided by the end, but it really was just 1 or 2 very small mistakes that ended up cascading down to what we ended up seeing.
Yeah, the first 2 games, I just want to say, like, it looked like ZertoN had it. It definitely looked like ZertoN had it. The first game was just literally one fight, one really unnecessary fight to take, but it put him into such a bad situation all of a sudden when he was in such a dominant position that he lost the game after that. And the same feels like for the second game as well. He was kind of late with the mass javelin thrower spam, then overcommitted at a moment in time when Beasty was aging up. If the age up came in a little bit earlier with another landmark potentially and the upgrades come in, I think he wouldn't have had to forfeit so much map control and been in a way better position. But yeah, it's unfortunate there. ZertoN, like the early game just looked so good every now and then, and in the end just wasn't quite enough there.
Yeah, felt like the first one, he had it for a bit, and then all of a sudden, Beasty takes on over. But again, that's why Beasty is the player that he is. He knows, how to take the games from looking awful from himself to being easy victories by the end of it. And time and time again, he does it and proves why.